Why is everybody so sensitive these days? I just don't understand it. I pissed off a couple of people by calling them hipsters today. Apparently the politically correct term is conjoined twins. What up, YouTube? Let's here. Thanks again for visiting the channel. As always, I appreciate it. If this is your first time to the channel, thank you so much for watching. Please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button just for the algorithm. And if you enjoy the content, please subscribe. Also, like I said on my last video, I've been reaching out to people just trying to get some extra stuff on the channel for some extra content. If you would like to send in a knife or two for me to review, just go ahead and send me an email, letsdiu79@gmail.com, and I'll go ahead and send you my shipping address so that you guys can send me a knife or two for review. I'd really appreciate that. And today I'm just doing a quick review on the ASK by Medford, the ASK knife, the ASK by Medford. I don't know why I wanted to call it an ASK knife all the time, because it stands for American Service Knife, so that's technically American Service Knife. So let's do it up, y'all. Alright, so I'm going to get this guy open all the way. We're going to do some quick size comparisons. Compared to the Rat Model 1, this is obviously going to be quite a bit smaller than the Rat 1. And the Rat Model 2, I think, is also a little bit bigger than the ASK. Compared to the DEMKOs, the 8020S is obviously going to be quite a bit bigger than the ASK. And the 20.5 is obviously going to be a little bigger than the ASK. Last but certainly not least, compared to the SPYDERCOs, we've got the SPYDERCO Paramilitary 2, which is going to be substantially bigger than the ASK. And the Para 3 is also going to be a little bit bigger than the ASK. Carry profile, I'm sure you guys already can see that this is going to be quite an easy knife to carry in the pocket. Quite a bit smaller than both of these knives when they're closed. And the thickness, when compared to the Para 3, the ASK is quite a bit thicker than the Para 3. But this is just like a Swiss Army knife. So you guys are going to already know, kind of how that's going to carry in the pocket and everything. And I'm also going to check blade stock thickness here, if I can get the calipers to continue to still work. I don't know. I have to get to the store and get a new battery for this guy. So we're looking at probably 122 thousandths on the blade stock there. So that's pretty good. And let's get a quick weight on this guy. There we go. Get it turned on. All right, so we're looking at 2.5 ounces. Turn it around. 2.5 ounces. Perfect. So that's obviously quite a light knife. I would consider that ultra light compared to most of my other knives, obviously. So again, this is the American Service Knife made by Medford. I don't know why I always say that. Jesus. Made by Medford. If you go to Medford's site, you're not going to find these. You actually have to go to askknife.com, I believe it is. I will link these down in the description if anybody's interested in getting a hold of one of these guys. They're awesome. I like it a lot. So this particular version, they've released several versions so far. I believe this one is called the Jefferson. And they have different names for different versions, which have different blade profiles and different tools on them. The stock or the factory version of the Jefferson comes with a drop point blade, which is approximately, I'm going to go ahead and call that just a hair under 3 inches with a 2.75 inch cutting edge. And I believe this comes in S45VN. I looked on the site and I looked on the box that it came in, and it doesn't actually say specifically what the blade steel is for these guys, but I'm fairly certain. I watched something on YouTube that Greg Medford made just advertising these, and I'm pretty sure he said that they were coming in S45VN. The walk and talk on this guy is absolutely fantastic. Very snappy, very defined half stop, and then a nice snap at the end there. The extra tools that you have on this particular knife, you've got a scraper or pry bar, which also comes with a different sized hex driver, I believe that is. And then the other tool that you've got here is just a flathead screwdriver and a bottle opener. Says made in the USA on the bottle opener. There is no other billboarding anywhere at all on this knife. And as you can see, this is quite the fingerprint magnet, which isn't a big deal. This is a knife that's made just to be, you know, like a utility knife, made to be taken out, used, and put back. It's not supposed to be pretty or flashy or, you know, no flare on this thing or anything like that. But as you can see, the walk and talk on these tools is absolutely fantastic. Now, the great thing about this knife is that it's modular. It's easy to take apart. I believe these are T25 screws, and it's very, very easy to take apart. I've already taken this apart a couple of times. You've got some kind of like leaf springs type metal material here, which causes the compression for the tools, and you can add in, I don't know what you call these middle parts here, separators or dividers or whatever you want to call those. But you can add different things to this knife or take them away depending on what you're using it for. Obviously, you will have to buy the extra tools if you want, but they do have kits that will allow you to add and take away things from this knife. So obviously, it can get wider, it can get slimmer, depending on what you're using it for. And it's very, very easy to do. It's not like your standard Swiss Army knife that you have to send in to get adjusted because it's put together with rivets and you're not able to take those apart. This is very, very easy to disassemble and put back together for sure. The nail nicks are nice and deep, so you can get in there with no problem. You take these out and the tools, you know, obviously do what they're supposed to do, and then you can easily put them back, throw it back in your pocket and go about your day. Now, the nice thing about this screwdriver here and, you know, the other tools that he's using, as you can see, it kind of ramps up just above the pivot here. So when you're pushing into something, it's only going to cause the lockup to, you know, to be stronger. You're not going to have to worry about any issues with when you're pushing. You're not going to have to worry about it failing at all. It's very, very snug in there, and with the center of the tool being just above the pivot, that allows you to be able to push on it and not have any issues with it failing on you. Another thing that Greg Medford said that he did with this knife is he developed it in a way that if it does start to close on you, you're going to feel that happening long before it actually starts to fall. So you'll be able to feel whether or not the tool is closing on you or not, which is also a very nice feature of these knives. This is a very sturdy knife. You know, it doesn't feel cheap or chintzy at all. And all of the internals, the separators or dividers, the screws, all the extra stuff other than the actual tools are made out of titanium. So that, again, is going to make it a lot more robust and a lot more sturdy than your standard Swiss Army knife. It comes with different scales that you can buy. To replace this particular knife, factory or stock comes with an orange scale, which I didn't want at all. So I waited until this particular one came out with it still has plastic scales or Grivery or FRN or whatever the hell you want to call it. But these obviously have a laminate on top, which makes it look like wood, and it actually really, really does look nice. You've also got some milling here on the scales that has the musket and the hammer, and then you've got an American flag down here, and it says "Made in America," and that's on both sides. So it's a really, really well-made knife, and I like this knife a lot for sure. It is pretty pricey. I think this one starts at around $250, and the price just obviously goes up from there, depending on what tools you want for it and how you want to build it out. But they will make it however you want it to be in the factory and then send it to you like that, so you don't have to fuss around with it at all. You've also got Wharncliffe blades, you've got Tonto blades, and I think they also have one other blade. I just can't remember what the blade profile of it is, but I know they have at least 3 or 4 different blade profiles that you can get on this guy. He said at some point he's looking into doing scissors with this, but I don't know if he's released those yet. But he obviously has the scraper, the pry bar, the flathead screwdriver, And there's a whole bunch of tools that have already been released for this guy. I just can't remember what they are. So if you want to go to the site and take a look at it, I would encourage you to do that. I will link the site down in the description, as I said. But this is a fantastic little, just quick everyday carry knife to carry along with you as your backup, or something to hand people if they want to use your knife or something like that. There's really not a lot that people can do to hurt this knife, and it's pretty self-explanatory how you use it. You know, you just use the nail nick to open it, and then you can close it one-handed or two-handed. Very simple to close one-handed. You just keep your thumb on the outside of the blade here, and you just push down a couple of times, and you hear that snap when it closes. Very satisfying. Very, very, very satisfying. Let me see if I can get you a good focus view on this guy up close, just to see. You've got that wood grain laminate there, which makes it look very, very nice. And then you've got the titanium pivots here, which have some milling on there as well, which have, give it a nice look. But yeah, I think that's about it for this one today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And stay up, y'all. Take it easy. Bye.